Welcome everybody to Palomar Airport Toastmasters. Palomar Airport Toastmasters. We had a guest a few weeks ago, and as I was walking out of the meeting with this guest, he turned to me and he said, "So, whose club is this anyway?" I thought that was kind of a funny question. I never really thought about it. But it makes sense, doesn't it? Every other place that we go, where we pay money to learn a skill, there's somebody in charge. There's somebody who has the responsibility for bringing us along in the club and making sure that we get out of it what we've paid to get into it. I started thinking back 5 years ago when I first came to this club. It functioned so smoothly, it was like no other Toastmasters club I had ever been to. And in a way, I wondered the same thing. Just who's running this place? How did this get to go so well? My brain first went to Doug Tabor, who was president at the time. I said, surely this person's in charge. Doug finished his term as president, left the club, and we haven't seen him since. But very quickly, I saw Janet Taylor, who seemed to be doing everything underneath the surface. She was that officer that was doing all of the officer roles underneath. I said, surely she's in charge. Her son got sick, and she had to move up north. We haven't seen her since. Maybe it's Jerry Rose. He's always greeting people and talking to people, and he's always dressed nicer than anyone else in the room. Maybe he's in charge. Or Jan Riggins. Or even John Orsini or Dave Glendenning. Surely he was here in the very beginning. The importance of this question didn't really strike me until 2 weekends ago at Toastmasters Leadership Institute. I saw a presentation from Lance Miller, who is the former world champion of public speaking. And he gave a 1-hour presentation on how to build strong clubs. He started off with an interesting point. He said, Toastmasters is the blind leading the blind. He went on to elaborate on that by saying, imagine when I went to get my pilot's license. He said, I got in the cockpit and there was a guy next to me in a uniform who was actually a pilot. This was comforting. He knew everything that there was to do, so he let me fly a little, and he trained me and coached me. I had somebody to listen to teach me how to fly this plane. If this was Toastmasters, he said, 2 people who had never flown a plane before would both get into the cockpit. One would hand the owner's manual to the other and say, here, you fly the plane, I'll evaluate you. It's an interesting and unique way that things are run at a Toastmasters club. And I got to puzzling out about how this club operates so effectively and so well. Lance Miller went on in his presentation to talk about his own club's growth and his own club's success. He said his club went from 12 members to over 90 members in 2 years. To be the number 5 or 6 or something like that club in the country. Very impressive presentation. But I'll tell you what struck me was in the closing remarks of this presentation. As people started to get out the door, he said, I need to get back to my club because we've dropped below 30 members. And just sort of left it. And nobody questioned it. What was in everybody's mind was, wow, this meteoric rise to the top. What happened? I searched for the rest of the day at TLI looking for Lance Miller because I wanted to know what happened. I think this is important to know because we've experienced a little of that here at Palomar Airport Toastmasters. We gained 18 new members last year. 18 new members. That's a triumph. However, our overall membership fell from 47 to 31. That's a startling drop. So I want to know, what makes a Toastmasters Club rise and fall? And to me, I think the core is in that opening question that guest asked. So who's in charge around here anyway? Whose club is this? The answer, of course, is it's your club. Every single person in this room, it's your club. I think a lot of people join Toastmasters with a thought or unstated idea that somebody is going to take them in, take them by the hand, lead them through some manuals, and teach them how to get rid of those butterflies, how to feel more comfortable speaking, how to achieve everything that they want to achieve. It doesn't work that way. I think Toastmasters clubs rise sometimes because they have real strong leadership and people are attracted to that. I want to be like these people that I see. And then when they realize that it's not going to happen just like that, nobody's going to do it for them, a lot of people leave. This is Palomar Airport Toastmasters. It's your club. It belongs to all of you. If you are depending on somebody else for your journey here, you'll probably be one of the ones walking out the door feeling disappointed. But if you take ownership, if you treat this like it's your club, each and every week you take bigger and greater ownership of what's going on, every single one of us, I promise you, this club will give you more than you will ever give it. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Jason. Speaker, will you put 1 minute on the clock while we fill out the form?